Hello there. Welcome to the It's All Geek to Me podcast. On this podcast, we'll be discovering all things geeky. We'll be covering it. We'll be telling you the news. We're going to show you some cool geeky stuff. It's all geek to me. You know the title. I just said it. We'll cover things like Star Wars, even if I have to discuss Jar Jar. So, Misa, take it with a grain of salt, everyone. But if I get emails, I'll also try to get emails. If you want to email me, I will even read them live. So if you guys have some suggestions for me to discuss or cover the news, I'll do that. Also, I'm just going to cover some news updates. I'll be discussing other good geeky stuff like Marvel. Especially Marvel. Marvel's a very big topic right now. Like, do you guys know that, like, Jonathan Majors, the one who's playing Kang the Conqueror, is, like, during a court case? It's still going. I need to catch up with all the details. It's been a while, but it's still going. We'll know this end. This will be a big issue for Marvel news right now, because Marvel is dealing with a lot. I'm talking a lot of issues right now. They're fixing their movies, or they're fixing the script. Like, specifically with one news intro I read, it's Blade. Like, they're working on the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. They're working on it, and then they just decided, let's fix the script, because it only had 2 action scenes and just all dialogue. So I can understand them fixing the script. I can understand that. But it's just, Blade was like the first Marvel film that they ever made, and them having the MCU officially branded, that would have been very, very cool. But we're going to have to wait. And we're going to have to wait for a bunch of other projects because of the dang writer's strike. Yeah, like shows that I'll also be discussing, like Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things, the 2 most anticipated shows on Netflix. That's another thing we're going to have to wait for. Like for Umbrella Academy, the 4th season will be coming out soon. I did hear, though, they did finish wrapping filming, but they're just going to have to, they're in post-production. So they're going to have to fix that. Yes, I hate it too. Yes, I already know you're probably commenting saying, yes, I hate it. Yes, we hate it too. We hate it. I know. And Umbrella Academy too, because Umbrella Academy is one of my favorite shows. I'd love to make a recap of what's happening, so I'll be sure to do that. Stranger Things too. Stranger Things, really, really good show. 5th season, I know it's ending, but people actually got into the show, for the very first time when the 4th season came out. Because a lot of people forgot it, to be honest. A lot of people forgot Stranger Things existed. And then when season 4 came out, everybody was like, whoa, the Stranger Things train is back. Choo-choo! It's back. It's back. And the Duffer Brothers are just good writers. They started the story from beginning to end, and they know what's happening. And I had to go back and rewatch the first 3 seasons to see if it all connected with the 4th one, and it did. Because many people, I thought, oh, they're just changing the villain. No, they did not. The Mind Flayer was like a creation. It was this guy all this time. And for Umbrella Academy, again, I just said it's in post-production right now, but I really like the show. It's a really creative show. It's based on the comic book series created by Gerard Way. Yes, Gerard Way, from the My Chemical Romance band, the Black Parade. Not the album, but it's really, really weird for him to do that. Why? But all jokes aside, though, we will also be discussing news, which I just said. We'll also be discovering things on this channel. I'll even go over episodes. So if I ever do a recap, for example, if I did a recap of The Umbrella Academy, all 3 seasons recapped, then I'll recap them all. You probably all know what happened, so I'll be recapping what happened. So if you need to watch season 4 and you need a little recap, there you go. There's your recap. We'll also discuss things like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all just geeky stuff. And it's fun to discuss these topics, specifically Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings made a comeback with the Rings of Power. Yes, I've heard of the Amazon show. I need to see it. I love the first 3 Lord of the Rings films. They're just my favorite. Ever since like when I was a kid, like the second one has always been my favorite because it just has many great battles in it and a good story. So it's just like the best. But still, I'm gonna have to. It's still coming out big. Surprised that they're making new stuff to it. The only new thing that was out was The Hobbit. So pretty much that was it. And then boom, it's back. It's here. And the news, we'll be discussing that as well. But a lot of things we'll be discussing are new stuff. Like the new stuff that's coming out right now. That's in the media. Like Marvel. Marvel is the hot new thing right now because of what's been happening with Jonathan Majors, what's been happening with their movies, the multiverse saga. A lot of people have been quitting Marvel because they're not saying it's not the best like the Infinity Saga. Yeah, well, to you haters, you still watch Marvel. Freaking haters. But so they still watch it, but we need to get those movies under control. We need those movies under control. Just those movies in particular. I love all the Marvel films. My favorite, Civil War, but we need those films fixed. I'll also do something geeky, like all geeky stuff. Like, for example, like when I do probably my Umbrella Academy recap, I even have a number 5 Funko Pop. 5's my favorite character in the show. Aiden Gallagher just does a good job with it. Like, he does a very good job with not voicing, but playing 5 as an old man, because 5's an old man in a 58-year-old body, and I give this 19-year-old credit, about to be 20-year-old in a few weeks. I give this guy credit because he's a good actor. He's going to probably get, like, the Timothée Chalamet treatment. Good actor. Same too, I have a bunch of Umbrella Academy Funko Pops, like Baby Pogo from Season 2. This is one of my favorites. I like how Pogo's created, but, like, again, the comics, it's pretty graphic of how Pogo was actually created. I'm glad they didn't show that in the show. But this is a really good Funko Pop of how Pogo was created. I don't have any Season 3 Funko Pops, but I hope they do make some of the Sparrow Academy. I also have one last one, and it's Allison from Season 2. Yeah, Allison's become a very hated character as of late. But if you hate the character, then the actor just shows that they're good. So M.A. Raver Lampman, really good actor. And for Marvel, like, we also got some Marvel Funkos here, too. I have a bunch of Funko Pops. We've got Doctor Strange, one of my favorite Marvel films. Benedict Cumberbatch is just great, too. And he's great as Sherlock Holmes, which I also will be covering at some point. Also got Icarus. I'm not going over all of them. These are just some. Icarus from Eternals. I still can't believe people hate that. It's a really good film. It's really original. It's original. It brings them like a family. It's really cool. I don't know why people don't like it. It's a really good film. I like a lot of a lot of the Marvel films. A lot of people just been giving the hate on. Like, for example, like they gave hate recently on like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I'm like, what? Like, why would you hate? Like, it's supposed to introduce Kang the Conqueror. I know Loki is working on that with the next season next month, but we got there introduce what Kang actually did to the timelines, how the multiversal war started, and specifically, you know what I'm talking about, the Council of Kangs. Not the Council of Ricks from Rick and Morty, but the Council of Kangs. Like, we know what these people are. And Jonathan Majors just shows his talent like a snap. And his acting's really, really good. But then all of a sudden, the case came, and now Marvel's looking like they're going to replace, like, Marvel. We'll also be doing some music. We'll do, like, geeky music. So, like, The Kinks or The Beatles. Speaking of The Beatles, right here on my stereo, I've got a John Lennon Funko Pop. This is when he dressed up in the army. Well, not army, but this was, like, I don't know what the specific musician was, but they said he would never wear this live at a concert, and then he did. But this is a really good Funko Pop. I really need to get all the Beatles ones, like them wearing their suits like they did on the Ed Sullivan Show. And if you're wondering, like, do I have albums or CDs for my stereo? Yes, I do. Right there. They're all right here. Take a look at them. One day, maybe I'll just show them all to you. Who knows? Other things we'll be discussing are maybe like short films. We'll discuss like short geeky films, kind of like shorts to like a Disney short. Like Disney's like pretty geeky. Like a few of their movies are pretty geeky. Like specifically Big Hero 6, who with all the geeks in there. So maybe we'll discuss that. I'm just trying to look for anything else that I can show you to see how much geeky stuff I have. Oh, here's one. Like, another good one that's pretty good is, we'll discuss cartoons, too. Like Gene from Bob's Burgers. Yeah, my dad made this for me. He 3D printed it and painted it. I know the face is not that the best, but it's really cool. So, shout out to Dad for making this for me. So we'll also discuss that too. Like, we'll be talking about Bob's Burgers, Family Guy. I know I'm going to sound like a non-geek to you, but I have not watched The Simpsons. I know, you're probably like, how could you? How have you not watched The Simpsons? I know, calm down, I know, calm down in the audience. I know. But if I get, like, emails to do that, then I'll do that. I'll review The Simpsons. I'll watch it, see if it's a good show. I still can't believe there's that many seasons in that show. That's a lot. That's a lot that Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, is pushing out. It almost feels forced at this point. My friends watch The Simpsons, so they're going to make me probably watch it one day. I know they're watching this. But that's like things we'll discuss. These are just like mild compared. We'll also talk about Family Guy. Like, again, Family Guy. I know people really don't like that show anymore because of what happened to like Seth MacFarlane talking about politics, the death of Brian Griffin. Yes, I still remember that. I still remember when Brian Griffin died on Family Guy, and then people even quit the show. They quit the show. Well, one, because it was stupid. It was stupid because they didn't need drama in the show, and two, even though like Brian is like a jerk in the show, he's like a very well-written character. He's a well-written character. And I could understand why, but they weren't really going to get rid of him because Seth MacFarlane said on his Twitter that it was supposed to teach someone a lesson of taking loved ones for granted. So he was always coming back. They just wanted to do this to see what would happen. And then Seth MacFarlane said in interviews he couldn't believe that his death, like Brian's death in the show, was so huge that people even quit. I know, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of geek stuff. Again, a lot of geek stuff. That's why it's called It's All Geek to Me. That's why it's called that. It's All Geek to Me podcast. We'll also have guests on here as well, and probably some famous people if I can try and get some. But I'll bring my friends in who are big discussers on this. I'll bring my friends in because like they like this stuff too, and we'll have like a conversation like what's been going on. We'll be talking about the news, the episodes, the show. I'll do that. Even if there are original shows for platforms like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. Yes, those exist. Well, I'll discuss all of those, like Cobra Kai, Lock and Key, Umbrella Academy, the Stranger Things show, like Stranger Things, The Family Guy, not Umbrella Academy, my bad. Like The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, Futurama. I know that's created by the same person, but it's still geek. Like, again, it's all geek to me. It's all geek to me. So we'll be discussing those. We'll also be discussing, I know I'm going to sound like a fool for saying this, but Harry Potter. Yes, I know, the series is dead now. We'll be talking, though, mostly about the new Harry Potter reboot that's coming out. I don't know why they would want to make a reboot about it. I love the Harry Potter books, and I love the Harry Potter movies, but it doesn't make sense why they're going to retell it like a third time. I mean, not a third time, a second time, my bad. And I loved the Fantastic Beasts films. I know those films don't get a lot of credit, but really, they are pretty well-made films, and now they're not going to make any more because they didn't get the views they deserved. Like, I really wanted to see the battle between Grindelwald and Dumbledore. I know they explain that in the book, but to see it like visually, not instead of imagining it, that would have been really cool to see on the big screen. Seeing Jude Law as Dumbledore fighting Mads Mikkelsen's Grindelwald. I know Johnny Depp was the best Grindelwald, but Mads Mikkelsen did a pretty good job of playing this Grindelwald. I like his feeling too. He gave his own interpretation of it, kind of like how Michael Gambon had to give his own version of Dumbledore after Richard Harris's passing. So I really like that. So yeah, I know people don't talk about J.K. Rowling anymore, and we're not going to get into that. But again, we'll be discussing Harry Potter. We're going to talk about the upcoming Max series. I know I'm not a fan of it, but there are good side stories they could have explored. Like, a lot of people really want a Marauders series, like, talking about the Marauders. Like, they did a fan casting, and they said, for a specific person to play Remus Lupin, they picked Andrew Garfield. And I could actually envision that. I could see Andrew Garfield playing a young Remus Lupin. I know he's, in his 30s, or if I'm saying this right, 30s, but the dude really looks like he's young. He's young. And he looked like he'd play a great Remus Lupin. Another series that they would have really wanted was a Four Founders series. The Four Founders of Hogwarts. Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Romina Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin. It would have been cool to see Gryffindor, Gryffindor and Slytherin have that epic duel. They got into arguments, and they disagreed on a lot of things, and I think it led to a duel. So that would have been really cool to see on screen Gryffindor and Slytherin rival each other and see how that rivalry actually started. That would have been really, really, really cool. Another series they would have loved, I think, which was pretty good. They should have made a Sirius Black series. I think that would have been really cool to understand the origins of his family. Him and his brother Sirius. Sirius is my favorite character in the books, and my second favorite character is his brother Regulus, who died trying to destroy one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Regulus has a very good character arc, and so does Sirius, and I think it just is very well done. It's very well done with his character arc. And I feel bad for Regulus too, because everybody, even Sirius, thought he died like a coward. And it's wrong. A lot of people really, too, again, fan-casted who they want to play Regulus Black. And it's Timothée Chalamet. And Timothée Chalamet has said he is a fan of Harry Potter, and he would love to do something Harry Potter-related. So that would be really cool if Timothée Chalamet got to play Regulus Black. That would be so cool if he got to play Regulus Black. Timothée Chalamet's not even a bad actor. He's really good. He looks good. I'm actually going to see in a few months Wonka. Him playing Willy Wonka. I know that film has been given a little bit of hesitation because of what the trailer looked like, but you can't deny that this Wonka is better than Johnny Depp's version. Gene Wilder, classic. I've watched him. I just don't like Johnny Depp's version. Johnny Depp has too much close up of his teeth. And it's kind of weird for that, too. Why? I know Tim Burton and Johnny Depp are good friends, but Tim Burton, we get it. Johnny Depp was good back in the day. He's fine now. But we get it. You didn't have to show his good, clean, white teeth. Mine are like this. Mine aren't even good compared to what Johnny Depp has. And we also get it, too. We get, I know Johnny Depp was in that huge court thing. He's getting his roles back. After the court case, Disney even offered him to come back to play Jack Sparrow again. And he was like, no, you didn't believe me. And he walked away. 2, Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. Really good. Really good. Really good. His son is even named Jack. Actually, no, it's not. Because it's not Jack. They call him Jack, but his real name is actually John Christopher Depp III. And that's actually Johnny Depp's real name, John Christopher Depp II, after his father. So, yeah, I'm just giving you a little insight of what to do, and I was giving you some news of what's happening right now. And this will be a regular 15 minutes. This will be 15 minutes each week, or more than that, to discuss what's going on. And yeah, this is It's All Geek to Me podcast. This is Sawyer signing off from It's All Geek to Me podcast. Bye-bye.